You can reach more people by tagging a game for your stream. Fuck you. Go live.
Well, what if we're not actually playing a game, though?
Right. I mean, I don't understand what the big problem is here. I've got to say, Facebook Lives, like they're making an honest effort to cut into that market.
Yeah.
Of like streaming and games and like, you know, little content creators. But I don't know. Facebook is generally oblivious about everything. So if you are joining us and you're hearing the sound of my soothing voice, welcome to the Jedi Enclave Boba Fett after show pre-show.
You're listening to Smooth Jazz
on NPR. I fucking love NPR, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're white liberals. Of course we love NPR.
Yeah, that's true. I've been on NPR before.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that station. Promoting the orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
Like the local NPR affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, Juan? We will be looking at the chat. We're going to get started on the show here in just a moment.
I suppose where you are, there's two, where we are right now, there's two, quote-unquote, local NPR affiliates. One to the east and one to the
there's
west.
one in Springfield. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I left my phone way over there.
Unfortunate.
Yep. No, that's what I was waiting for. See, before we start the show,
Yeah.
I will turn off my Xbox sounds.
Imagine the incredibly convoluted and incredibly petty plan of someone hate mailing you in the middle of this show.
Well, it shouldn't be hate mail. It should be someone from Gremlin Squad. But let's do this.
All right.
Here comes the logo.
Bam. Pulling the switch and flying through.
Look at that. Whee! Fucking at the touch of a button, we're through hyperspace. Oh, look, that's a logo. I designed that myself.
Oh, nice.
Didn't take a lot of work. Welcome to Jedi Enclave. I'm Daniel.
I'm Chris.
We are, two Star Wars nerds trying to find our way through the universe, and at least we have each other. Yeah. Also, can you scoot a little bit toward me? A little bit more. I know we fixed this before the show. We're professionals. Here,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Okay.
I was gonna say it's actually been a very big week in the greater nerdoverse. Like,
oh, I know. Before we get into the Star Wars news,
so on Monday we had the Moon Knight trailer.
Yeah.
Disney Plus, which stars none other than Star Wars alum Oscar Isaac.
Yes, he was looking real great still.
Yeah.
By the way, for his age,
looking very good. Yesterday we had the news of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard.
I couldn't believe that.
Neither could I.
$70 billion. I don't.
We are very fond of pointing out that Disney bought Star Wars for
$4 billion. And even $4 billion is hard for me to actually wrap my mind around.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, $70 billion is obscene.
That's a lot.
It also means that Microsoft now pretty much owns Call of Duty.
Yes.
Which is, I think, the reason they bought Activision.
Very likely. And I imagine 2024, if not 2023, Call of Duty will start being Xbox exclusive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would assume that's the whole reason that they wanted to get into that. And so, which also means that Xbox has defeated PlayStation.
In America, maybe, but overseas, PlayStation still has a pretty big lead.
And Sony, at least domestically, is in huge trouble. Because they first of all don't have the capital to make this is like the biggest acquisition in like the history of mankind.
Well, in the history of the games industry, sure.
Which is disgusting. $70 billion. No one should have that amount of money. But still.
Also, it couldn't be going to a nicer guy in the form of fucking Bobby Kotick. That's all that needs to be said about that, I think.
Fucking, yeah. Before we... Hold on a second. Before we get to
one more
the...
thing today.
While you're thinking...
I know it was, actually. Amazon announced that their new Lord of the Rings show is premiering in September.
And apparently, the Stephen Colbert show... Because you know that Stephen Colbert is a
huge Lord of the Rings
fan. Someone asked him if he's in the new show, and he wouldn't answer.
Oh!
Not like a, no, I'm not in it. Like a standard NDA, well, I couldn't tell you even if I was in it. So...
I'm so happy for him.
You know, you never watched Game of Thrones.
No.
Ed Sheeran was in an episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Toward the later part of the show, and it kind of was like, that's Ed Sheeran. That's not some random soldier. That's fucking Ed Sheeran. Yeah. That's feel like if Stephen Colbert shows him in Lord of the Rings, be like, that's fucking Stephen Colbert.
You think he's gonna be an elf?
I think he'd be a hobbit.
He
has the mannerisms of a hobbit.
I feel like he has more of the build of an elf, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, anyone can have the build of a hobbit if you put hairy feet on them and
Also
make them
true.
small. Yeah. So, real quick, shout out and thank you to our partners at the Star Wars Hub on Facebook. Those guys are awesome. Also, their subsidiary, Star Wars Veritas.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're on Facebook, go check those guys out. Go like those pages. They're a lot of fun.
All the Star Wars news with none of the bullshit.
Yes.
If that's not their tagline, it should be.
Yeah. It might be. Maybe after tonight it will be. And then right after this, starting at 7 o'clock Central, we're going to be having our Battlefront 2 stream where we're going to play Battlefront. It sounds exactly what you would think it would be. So make sure you stick around for that. Also, on Friday, we're doing a Star Wars Episode 1 watch-along. I've been talking about this every fucking day for like the last week during our live streams.
Oh, you're that excited about it?
Yes. we are we're doing a watch-along. You bring your copy of Star Wars Episode 1. We'll bring ours. We'll tell you when to start, when to press play. We'll watch it together. We'll be reading the chat the entire time. And we'll have, all the shit that we know about the movie, and, we'll have our hilarious insights about it as well.
And if you happen to miss the live stream, it should still be archived.
Yeah.
So you can go back anytime, hit play at the right time, and you'll still have commentary.
Yep. I'm also going to do an audio only recording for it too, to put on YouTube, so that you can, put it on your phone or something while you're watching it. So yeah, watch along on Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Central. We'd love to see you there. It'd be a lot of fun. Before we get into our Book of Boba Fett recap, where we're going to spoil the fuck out of it,
yes,
we're going to do a little bit of news.
A little bit.
There's a little bit of Star Wars news today.
Just a little bit as a treat.
All right, so let's talk to us about that.
Okay, so you remember the Bad Batch?
Yeah.
I think we both agree.
I kind of remember it.
It was okay. It was like not our favorite Star Wars thing, not our least favorite.
It's a little bit more relevant now because like Fennec Shand was in it, and she's kind of a big part of Boba. Yeah.
Well, Season 2 was confirmed almost immediately after the premiere.
Yeah.
And now we think we know that it'll be coming sometime in spring of this year.
Mm-hmm.
This comes from a supposed leaked image from Star Wars Insider, the magazine.
Yeah. I used to get those as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just says spring 2022, nothing more specific. So that reads to me as somewhere between like April and June.
Yeah. Which is right around where we should be getting oh, wait, did I put that on the rundown about the Star Wars Lego, the Skywalker saga?
It's not on there.
I think I might have put it on. I forgot to put it on there, but it's their release date kind of leaked, and it's supposed to like be somewhere between April and May.
Okay.
So.
And the article we took that from also notes that is either after or between Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that Disney would want to keep a single new show going for as long as they can.
Yep. Moon Knight, actually, we mentioned Moon Knight at the top of the show. Mm-hmm. That's actually coming out fairly soon too. I remember them announcing it, and then until they I saw the trailer yesterday and I was like, oh yeah, they're doing that. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. We'll probably talk about that shit when it gets here.
Probably. Well, depending on how it looks. You remember The Mandalorian season 2?
Yes.
The end of it that made everyone shit their pants.
I didn't shit my pants. I bawled like a fucking baby. I cried like a wee baby.
Well, had whatever
some kind of religious experience. Yeah.
Yes. There was recently some concept art from that found its way onto the internet. One of those images appears to show a Jedi with a lightsaber staring down Din Djarin with the darksaber.
Yes.
As if they're about to throw down.
Right. So I saw it, and what am I going to say here? So there's obviously the different scripts go through different revisions and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it really makes me wonder at what point someone was like, oh, we should have him fight Luke Skywalker. Because
that could only end one way.
Right. And it's because he did all right against Ahsoka.
I feel like it would be a repeat of Jango Fett.
Yeah. Well, because well,
okay, maybe not, because Luke is not quite as violence inclined as Mace Windu.
I don't know. Do you see what he did to those fucking droids?
Yeah, but they're droids. They don't count.
He was a fucking madman the entire time. So he has a little battle with Ahsoka, right? Yeah. Din Djarin does. and he does all right. He doesn't immediately die, but like he had to do the wait, stop, please don't kill me thing.
Wait, look at Baby Yoda. He's so cute.
Yeah, because he used all of his fucking tricks. None of it worked. At that point, he didn't have the Beskar spear or the Darksaber, but I can't imagine that he's some brilliant duelist.
I don't think those would make a difference.
Yeah,
really.
I think Luke whooped his ass.
I also think there's a significant difference between Ahsoka, who's not bad, she's pretty good, and Luke.
Yeah, there was some talk about that too, because one of the big problems in Star Wars is that they're not very good at actually establishing power levels with characters. It's like all the Jedi are real powerful and all the council members are like real powerful, and then Palpatine like trips into him and kills him, you know?
Yeah.
And then like Mace Windu is obviously a badass, and it's just like they don't
you can tell he's a badass because he has a purple lightsaber.
Right. And he also doesn't immediately die when they go to Palpatine. So I'm not really sure what their idea is between Ahsoka and Luke, but I would assume that probably at this point, knowing what we saw, which wasn't so. Imagine for a second Ahsoka in this situation where she's going to rescue them and she's cutting through dark troopers. Mm-hmm. I imagine her having a harder time than Luke had.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, he had no fucking chill the entire time. It's like he was strolling through the fucking park, right? Nothing was bothering him. And I'll never forget him splitting the one down the center and each side falling off the bridge. Yeah. I bet he was like, that was fucking... I bet they're watching on a TV. That was fucking cool.
that was cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, Mando versus Luke, I imagine probably would not have gone well, but I don't think he would have killed him.
No.
Or maybe Baby Yoda, like, saves him.
Just wilds
or, like, gets in the way.
Like, no, you do not want to kill Din Djarin.
Yeah, right.
And Luke's like, that doesn't work on me, but also you're cute, so I'll allow it.
Yeah, I know your species. Yeah, so, it's kind of interesting. Maybe we'll probably post that to the Facebook page.
Yeah.
That image, because it's a neat idea.
It's very, very
it would be a really good Star Wars what if thing too. If they ever did one.
Yeah, that could work. Moving on from concept art to a quote unquote trailer.
Oh yeah.
So I should mention that this was fake. It's not real. Nothing about what we're talking about is actually Lucasfilm produced material.
Right.
But yesterday, I believe, right? January 16th. Oh, 3 days ago.
It was a while. It was a few days ago, yeah.
3 days ago, there was a short film, let's say, purporting to be a trailer for a Knights of Ren Disney Plus whatever.
Yeah.
Pablo Hidalgo came out on Twitter and said, quote, "I don't quite get why fake trailer leaks are so shaky. It's not that hard to hold a phone anymore." Unquote. Basically saying that this is bullshit and whoever put together is lying out their ass.
Yeah. Okay. So I have some feelings about this.
Okay.
I have some conflicting feelings. I went through a little emotional roller coaster because I watched it, and the guy a guy jumps on top of an X-wing and like
swings
disables it. Yeah.
Blows it up.
The effects are good. And you had taking into account the fact that it wasn't like someone didn't like just take the movie file and upload it, which I think that's one of the reasons I'm so conflicted about this. But looking at it, what it is, it was well above the standard fake trailer on YouTube. There for a second, I was looking at it like, what the fuck is this? And then Disney didn't take it down.
Well, sure, because it's not real.
Right, but so I started thinking, okay, well, it's probably fake because Disney would be all over that shit if it was real. However, they guard those resources really tightly, so if it were to get out, it probably would be on a phone.
Yes.
Because it's not like they're just going to let you walk up with your fucking flash drive and copy the file over and put it on the internet, right?
True, yeah.
Now, then Pablo Hidalgo says it's fake. And I'm like, okay. But then I remember when there was a leaked video of Andrew Garfield and Spider-Man.
Oh, yes.
Which turned out to be real. And then on a late night show, someone asked Andrew Garfield about it and he said, it's fake. And he fucking lied. So can we trust anything anyone says?
I mean...
Because, he could just be lying. Which before the Andrew Garfield thing, I wouldn't have like put a lot of money on that because it's like why would they lie? Andrew, and I think I'm just really upset because Andrew Garfield lied about it because he like he looked right into the guy's face and was like, "It was a fake. I didn't get a call for the movie. I'm not in the movie."
That may have been a condition of his contract because like Marvel had to know that this was kind of a big deal. They're getting Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield for this,
which no one was surprised by, but you know.
It was still really cool.
All I'm saying is that just because someone says it's a fake doesn't necessarily mean it's a fake.
You've been hurt once before and never again is what you're saying.
But my final verdict on it is it's a fake.
Yes.
Because it's like it doesn't make sense when you think like the guy that's like the Knight of Ren or whatever doesn't look like any of the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
He looks like the Witch King from Lord of the Rings.
It's real weird looking.
Yeah, so it's someone with probably a measure of talent with some VFX and rendering and stuff, probably did a little thing and that's where we are.
Maybe that was their job application to go work at Industrial Light and Magic or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Anyway, moving along. Battlefront 2. It's a video game. Right?
Oh yeah, we know that one.
Yeah. You don't know the PC version though, because you always play on Xbox.
Yeah.
So to set the scene for those of you not in the know, for the last few months, there's been this exploit, let's call it, on the PC version, where you go into a multiplayer match.
It's not an exploit. It's a hack. They actually have to
hack. Okay.
Yeah, because you can't hack on consoles.
Right.
Because you can't change any of the game code or anything like that. But it's literally a hack.
So anyway, you go into a match and nobody can die.
Right.
Which is kind of a problem for a multiplayer shooter where
Yes.
people kind of have to die to move things along.
Right. And there's always someone in the lobby. Doesn't matter what lobby. There's always one person that knows how to do it, and they fucking do it.
Mm-hmm. So, DICE, within the past couple of days, DICE community manager on Reddit said, basically, all our people were out of the office for the holidays the last however long, but they're back now, and we're gonna work on it, and we'll have a fix. We don't know when, but it'll be done.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on here. First, Battlefront 2 is kind of a low priority for them right now.
Yeah, and I've said this a couple of times, even in the last week. It seems like it's kind of winding down.
Yes, that like they stopped putting out new content for it
A while ago,
but
yeah.
This is compounded with the fact that they just released Battlefield 2042,
Whichever one, yeah.
Which
Still another shitty game.
by all accounts is remarkably shitty.
Yeah.
And is in desperate need of fixing to not be so shitty so they can actually turn a profit on it. And
They're really bad at not turning profits on stuff.
So I would imagine the vast majority of their programming and fixing resources are devoted to that.
Yeah.
And like they at least they're acknowledging that Battlefront 2 has a problem, but it's probably like 2 guys and an intern that are assigned to fix it.
Yeah, on one hand, it's a little encouraging that they're bothering with a fix because it means that probably more people than we think are still playing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not quick to praise them because it was just like last week where everyone's like, hey, this exists, and EA is like, go play one of our other games.
Yeah. I forgot they actually said that.
Yeah, so like it's like, okay, so they're like, okay, we'll fix it. I'm not going to call you fucking Jesus and suck your dick because you're going to fix a game.
Yeah.
It's especially after you've told us to go fucking eat cake. Like,
Yeah.
Fuck EA is all I'm saying. And fuck DICE particularly. Is that all the news we have?
That's it. That's all the news. There's no more news.
Juan says hello there.
Hello there.
This is awesome. James says heck hello. I think he meant to say hello.
Probably.
What Black Series do you have in this collection?
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Cassian Andor, K2SO, Wedge Antilles, Lando Calrissian, Finn, Chewbacca, General Leia, Luke Skywalker, the ceremonial robes, Luke Skywalker. I can't. Your fucking head's in the way. Admiral Akbar.
Up there, you've got Death Trooper, Captain Phasma, Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, a Sith Trooper, Snoke, and I believe that's just a First Order Trooper over there.
That's a Flame Trooper.
Oh, Flame Trooper.
And then Snoke I actually bought at Disney World. That's
cool.
a Disney World exclusive. You can only get them at Disney World.
And Moff Gideon.
Yeah, Moff Gideon's
directly over your head, basically.
Hold on. There it is.
Anyway.
So yeah, and I've got a Mr. Potato Head Darth Vader.
Yep, right there.
Over there. I got that in high school. Oh, and this Black Series over here is the Cantina Showdown.
with
So
Han and Greedo.
yeah, I usually get at least one every year for Christmas, and then if we go to Target, I usually get one too, just because
If you're very good and eat all your vegetables.
Yeah. Juan says that's going to be awesome. I assume you mean either Battlefront or our watch along on Friday at 7. Be there.
Mm-hmm.
James says the Knights of Ren were awful in Rise of Skywalker. They served nothing and got killed by Ben Solo. Yeah.
Yeah, they were one of the ideas that were established in Episode 7, and they just never did anything with because there was no plan.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move this along now.
Yes.
We're going to get into the Book of Boba Fett Episode 4 recap.
We are spoiling the fuck out of it. Every single detail in minute, exacting, detail.
Yeah. So, and we'll probably mess it up. Or if we miss anything, like if we missed a big fucking Easter egg or something, put it in the chat. And then we'll see on the other side of this. I'm going to cue this up though.
So last chance, if you haven't watched it yet, that's fine. Just stop watching us, go watch that, and come back afterwards.
Yeah. All right. So fucking right out of the bat, it's back to pod time.
Sure.
Now, what does that mean? We're going to get some flashbacks.
Ah, yeah.
Because the little Boba's taking a nap. And
Well,
that means
big,
that
big Boba?
Big Boba, yeah. So Boba's riding through the desert on his bantha. And it was kind of neat. They pass out like a bantha skeleton. It kind of, to me, reminded me a little bit of the crate dragon skeleton that's in A New Hope.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. And he finds Jabba's palace. And so it's time for some recon. And he's looking through his rifle, and you see some guards, and the door opens, and there's more guards, and it's pretty active, right? And so he turns the bantha in my head asks, "Hey, are we gonna fuck these guys up or what?" And Boba's like, "Not today, old girl. Still too many guards." And so immediately, there's something about Boba Fett that I love, where he's a huge fucking softie.
Yeah.
And he loves animals.
Apparently, he's an animal person.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I think literally anyone would have a shot with him for him being decent to them as long as they weren't fucking assholes. Yeah. He's like, I'll treat you with respect if you don't try to fucking kill me or melt me with Sarlacc acid.
Maybe he's just mellowed out a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they kind of hinted that a little bit later. So nighttime, which apparently Tatooine has a twin sun during the daytime and then a triple moon during.
Okay.
I looked through as much as I could. There are no other mentions of this in Star Wars canon, so this might be a thing exclusive to this that we've found out. And Boba and the bantha are eating at the camp. Well, the bantha's not, but he's fucking wagging his tail because that's the thing that banthas do. And in all caps, I have, "Oh my god, banthas wag their tails." And Boba gives him some of the food that he's roasting. It's really cute. He's my dog when I'm eating something.
Yeah.
That bantha's my dog, looking at me and licking their lips and shit.
Yeah.
They also have these big, stupid fucking faces, and I love them. I love them so much.
I would have assumed banthas were herbivores, but Boba was pretty clearly munching on some meat and just kind of tossed it into the big mouth.
I mean, what is an herbivore going to eat in the desert?
I don't
know. The black melons, I guess.
I mean, there's wood all over the place, so clearly there's some form of vegetation.
Yeah. I don't know. They do have, I don't know. They have teeth that kind of look like they're herbivores too. I don't know. Maybe they just eat what they can get. I just love how much of a nice guy he is. He's like, I'll give you some food. Fucking bantha. Big fucking stupid bantha. So they're sitting there hanging out, having some bro time, and there are explosions in the night sky, and they look a little familiar. And as one of these bright white explosions happen in the sky, you hear the fucking Mandalorian pan flute motive, that boo-da-doo-da, boo-da-doo-da, and I'm like, I know what that is. And it's from Mandalorian Season 1 when
he goes to Tatooine and helps out the rookie hunt down
the gunslinger, try to get Fennec Shand. So Boba rides over there to see what the party is and finds an unconscious Fennec Shand who has been gut-shotted.
Yep.
Fucking turns out the gunslinger that he's working with was a huge piece of shit. Oh, and he's dead now, by the way. He's very dead. You know why he's dead?
Because he's a piece of shit?
He pointed a gun at Baby Yoda, and the man was like, "No, your fucking life's over." So we don't ever have to worry about him again.
Yep.
So, because he's the softie that we know now, he's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to pick her up and probably go save her.
Well, he approaches her kind of cautiously with his gun drawn and walks up and just enough to see that she's not moving.
I'm not saying he's an idiot.
Yeah.
You can be a softie and not an idiot. making sure that she's not gonna like fucking cap him and take his bantha, his big fucking stupid bantha.
But after that, yes, he throws her over the back of the bantha and rides off.
Yep, and then title card with some theme, which is always my favorite part of the episode. So Boba takes Fennec to a biker gang, or where the biker gang gets their droid alterations, which to me felt a whole bunch like a tattoo parlor.
Yes.
Yeah.
It had a really cool music cue. Very, very electronic.
Yes,
thumping.
that's okay. So hold on, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
So also it felt a little bit like I was playing Cyberpunk again.
Yes,
like when you go into like one of the doctors.
docs,
yeah. Okay, so the Ripper doc in this episode is a musician in real life, and I'm pretty sure he wrote the music for this part of the episode. He's like a DJ musician kind of.
That would explain it.
Yeah, he's in the credits. I can't remember what his name is. Something Thunderbird something or
something like that.
Yeah. And there are a bunch of folks here with weird. The one girl's got like red eyes, and then fucking other goggle guy is
just all sorts of weird cybernetic parts.
They walk in on this guy like working on this person. He's got like
some sort of computer on her spine or something.
He's got a super battle droid hand that he's just like plugged into it.
Yeah.
So Boba sets her down on the table and he's like, she needs fucking robo abs. And the guy's like, I don't do walk-ins. And he's like, I have cash. And he's like, well, I now do walk-ins.
You should have just fucking led with that.
And then we have a robo abs montage. And this was kind of cool. Now I know, look, if you want to make a case about this not necessarily fitting in with the Star Wars universe, because it's kind of a weird aesthetic, this like cyberpunk kind of a thing. Look, if you don't like it, that's fine. I think it's like, it doesn't offend me. I think it's fine. I thought it was pretty cool that they showed some pretty critical functions while he's like one of the pistons is obviously her diaphragm and like and her like abdominal muscles and stuff.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like a jumble of shit. Like a lot of Star Wars props are just a jumble of shit, right? They just have like random things on them that don't do anything.
I'll never forget Harrison Ford telling the story of when he got into the Millennium Falcon bridge set for the first time. He's like, how am I supposed to fly this thing? And push the buttons and pull the levers.
Yeah, that's actually the actor that played Finn Wolfhard, John Boyega, was like his like first meeting with him. He wanted to ask a really meaningful question. And he's like, so how do I look like I'm piloting the Millennium Falcon? And he's like, I don't fucking know. You act. You're a fucking actor. Act like you're flying it. And he's talking about how like because Harrison Ford's a pilot, obviously, and how there's like there isn't any control that you just push from one end to the other quickly. Like everything is gradual, and so that's like he's like, just gradually fucking do this and then fucking do that.
Sure.
It's a little weird that there's no blood in this scene. Obviously, I know why there isn't, because it's on Disney Plus and the little kids are watching, but in my mind, it's like there would be blood all over this fucking room. Yeah. And like at one point, he's like cutting into her and there are sparks. It's like that. Okay, so that's probably the blood. Like that would have been the blood. And he replaces his super battle droid
with
hand.
Like a buzzsaw.
Yeah, he looked like a fucking Borg from Star Trek. He had like the little pincer thing. When I watched this with John tonight, my Star Trek obsessed partner, I guarantee you he's gonna make a joke about it being a Borg.
Probably.
So the guy finishes the robo abs. And Boba asks if he's gonna close her up. He's like, I can fucking see a robo abs, man.
She's gonna get sand in there. It's gonna gum up the works. It'd be terrible.
And the guy's like, well, how will anyone know she has fucking robo abs? If I cover him up. And he's like,
she has robo abs. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah. And he doesn't have a good argument. He's like,
okay, fair enough.
Okay. And so they fuck off.
Back into the desert.
Yep. So Fennec wakes up next to a campfire with Boba. And Boba's like, hi, I'm Boba. You got hurt. I saved you. Now you have robo apps.
Well, he doesn't say that he's Boba yet, because that's actually something that like gets her attention later.
Yeah, but surprise.
Yes.
You're now more machine now than me.
Don't get upset, but you have robo abs, and also here's a black melon. You should drink it.
Yeah.
I know it smells like shit, but
it looks like it smells like something foul, like really bad. So she's like, hey, I know who you are. Or no, he's telling her, he's like, I know who you are. You're a badass assassin. And you have a really high bounty, and she's like, I'll double whatever bounty you're trying to collect. And he's like, I don't fucking want money. She's like, you. And he's like, no, not that. I don't want that either. And she's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, I'm fucking Boba Fett. And
she's like, No, you're not.
Yeah.
Boba Fett's dead.
Yeah, and he's like, everyone does think that,
Mm-hmm.
for good reason, because I got eaten by a fucking Sarlacc.
It's also very convenient for me to
Yes.
for everyone to think I'm dead.
Right. But he explains they were, got eaten by Sarlacc. So he didn't say that, but the Tuskens, took me in, made me one of their own.
Which is not inaccurate, but also kind of misrepresenting the situation.
It's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Tuskens take me in. There was a fucking biker gang. They killed all my friends who, save that a little bit for later, because let me tell you.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah. And he kind of gets her caught up, and she was like, yeah, Tuskens didn't get beat by a biker gang. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I want you to get my help to get my ship out of Jabba's palace. Now, this is where they've probably stirred up a bunch of fucking controversy, because he says it's my fire spray, whatever ship, whatever. So the Star Wars, woke go broke. Fucking people are like, oh no, it's not called Slave One anymore,
yes,
and it's
it is. That's the class of the ship.
Also,
stop being stupid.
Also, if they I don't really care if they don't call it Slave One. It's not that big of a deal. But the fire spray classification has existed in Legends for a long time. That's not a big deal, So, and if you're that offended by a changing ship name, then fuck off. I don't care to know you. Fuck off. As Logan Roy would say in Succession, fuck off. Have you seen that show, by the way?
I've seen the ending of one episode.
It's one of the best shows I've ever seen.
I'm sure it is.
So, Jabba's palace, go get my ship. And she's like, hey, that belongs to Bib Fortuna.
Why don't you just walk in and ask?
Well, hold on a second. I got lost here.
I think we're in the right place.
Yeah. That belongs to Bib Fortuna. He's also gained an unhealthy amount of weight, by the way. And Boba's like, what would be really funny is if we walked right up in there and he says, Boba! And I shoot him straight in the fucking face. And Fennec's like, you've had a lot of time to think about that, haven't you?
I've been in the desert with nothing to do for God knows how long.
Yeah, yes, I have. And she's like, why don't you just ask for it back? And he's like, because it's Bib Fortuna, and I'm less persuasive without my armor. And she's like, okay, but if we do this, I'm even. You're not gonna fucking try to, take me in for a bounty, and I can go about my business.
Bob was like, yeah, okay, that's fair.
Sounds fair. So they go to Jabba's. Fennec's up in her little sniper nest, kind of taking a look, and she sees the ship. It's in a part of Jabba's palace we haven't seen on screen yet, which is the garage.
Yep.
I didn't double check this, but I'm pretty sure that they took this part of the building from Battlefront 2015, because one of the game modes happens there, and I think you go into that because it's not that entryway that we see Luke walk in.
Yeah.
It's way longer.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes out into into the sand or whatever. So they need a closer look because there are always guards changing and walking around and shit. So she has this drone from her gun stock, which is super cool.
Everything in her fucking gun stock.
And she spins it up, and it
goes flying through the palace.
Which, by the way, the droid thing reminded me of a mission from Jedi Knight 2, where you use one of the you use something like that to look around in a place that's unsafe. And it's just the interface that looks really similar. And it gave me a little bit of nostalgia for Jedi Knight 2, which is a great video game. So after the recon, the droid comes back, shoots up a hologram.
A map of the palace and where all the guards are.
A lot of fucking guards, by the way.
Yeah.
There are a shit ton of guards. And so she's like, okay, we'll do stealth and
we'll be
fucking stealth.
Sneaky, we'll go around the guards, we'll go between their patrols and get to your hangar and get your ship.
So Bob was like, before we do that, I need to go talk to my friend Bantha with this big fucking Bantha face.
Yep.
And he's like, telling her, he's like, go, be free.
Yes.
Be free with other, go make other fucking Bantha babies.
Go make little Banthas.
Yeah.
Which was the last thing I wanted to hear from Tamura Morrison. But
I guarantee you, when they were shooting, because it's an animatronic Bantha. It's not CG or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I bet every person watching this was watching him act with, it's so convincing. It's like it's a fucking living thing. And it's just, he's touching it and interacting with it. And it's the 10th time during this series so far that I can see that Tamora Morrison's having the time of his life, where he's like, you know what, you're sitting at fucking home. I am here with an animatronic fucking bantha, and I'm talking to it as if it were a real thing. So fuck you, my life's better. So it's really adorable, and he like throws some food and like chases it. Yeah, and I guess maybe like a post credit scene later we'll see it like having babies or something. I hope not. Just
leading like a bunch of little banthas.
Yeah. Oh, that would be really cute.
Yeah.
Probably not though. It's kind of like how we really wanted to see an after credit scene with what's his name character from Loki on a jet ski.
Oh yeah, Owen Wilson.
Yeah, because that would have been really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, spoilers for. I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, Fennec is like, shouldn't you like not tell that bantha to fuck off until like we get your ship back?
Yep. And he says, I'm either gonna get that ship or we're gonna fucking die. So welcome to the party.
Fennec's like, I didn't sign up for that, but okay.
So
guess this is my life now.
Yeah. And Fennec's like, so say we don't die and you get your ship, what's the next thing? And she's clearly not thinking of leaving immediately after they're finished. And he's like, I'm going to find my armor. Then I'm going to go shoot that fat fuck in the face for double crossing me and taking over. And I'm going to go take over his little empire.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, so you're going the Tony Soprano route. And he's like, fucking why not?
Sure.
Like, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
So Boba mentions that after the Tuskens took him in, that he was, it made him ready to leave bounty hunting behind. Mm-hmm. It's like this big life change for him after this experience with the Tuskens.
I mean, his only family was Jango Fett, who fucking died when he was like 12.
And was a bad dad.
Yeah.
He was a bad father.
So finally having any form of family like that would obviously change.
Yeah,
him.
I feel like every time we see Boba in canon, he's in with a group and trying to make a family with them. Like in Clone Wars, he's got like Aurra Singh and Dengar and those guys he's like running around with, and that doesn't last because bounty hunters are the worst, right? And so Fennec says people like us don't get to choose when they're finished working. And he's like, what would be really cool is if in very much the same way a populist political candidate could come in and overturn the entire system and make some money and everyone will love me. And so Fennec's like,
okay,
all right. So the droid has mapped out the entire building with the guards. The plan, as we said, is they're going to time the patrols.
Yep. And
they're going to do stealth. So they run up to Jabba's palace to a sewer grate, I think. A lot of fucking rats. Yeah. And Fennec has this like lightsaber knife thing.
Or acid thing or something.
I think it's some kind of electricity. Yeah, it's like a plasma cutter or something.
Yeah.
She cuts the grate open. And so do you watch this with like closed captions on?
Sometimes, yeah.
I do. And this next part's hilarious. So it's the kitchen in Jabba's palace. And there is and I know this because of the closed captions, there's a head chef and a sous chef.
Oh.
The head chef has about 1 billion arms.
Uh-huh.
And the sous chef was the droid in charge of droid assignments in Return of the Jedi. Yep. The one that's like, you are a protocol.
You are a protocol droid.
Are you not? Yeah. So they're like chopping shit up and making food and stuff.
And like one of the little critters is trying to escape from the pod, and the sous chef
whacks it in the head. Yeah. So they hear a sound, which is Boba and Fennec, and so they're like, "Oh, it's probably fucking rats again." So go call the rat catcher.
Call the rat catcher.
Yeah. And so Boba takes out the sous chef droid, and in all caps, I have LMAO. Chef droid goes General Grievous with knives.
Yes.
Fucking 10 arms, spinning knives and shit. It's very unceremonious. Fennec sneaks up behind it, like slits its throat with the like plasma cutter thing, kills it. So they're like, okay, that was close. We made a lot of noise, but that's all right. Let's continue sneaking. As they're about to sneak, there's the fucking rat catcher droid, who's an LEP droid from Clone Wars and Force Awakens. This cute little fucking dumpy rabbit-looking thing with like, the 2 big ears. Yeah. And
comes in with this like big net.
Yeah, I think he's gonna catch him and probably kill him later. I don't know. Thus starts a hilarious fucking chase sequence with Boba and this LEP droid. Boba's he's knocking shit over. He's knocking boiling water over. He finally catches it. Fucking slams it up against the wall. Like fucking,
do you know who I am?
And he's like, at this point, he's like unhinged because he's so pissed off that he's been. And Fennec's looking at him like, what the fuck, man?
Dude, chill.
Because she's like, you know what the fuck I am? And
the droid,
I'm Boba Fett.
Droid hears this.
He just shuts himself up.
Presses the button to turn himself off. I am not paid enough to deal with this shit. Good night.
Yeah, see you later. And Fennec's like, So can we go now? Are you finished being fucking crazy with a small droid? So they continue. They finally reach Slave One, and they fight 2 Gamorrean guards. But then an alarm is raised, and then here come more guards.
Yep.
They fight more guards. Fennec fights while Boba boards Slave One and fires it up, which kind of, for me, gave it some Star Wars Episode 2 vibes, where Boba was starting the ship up and Jango was fighting and stuff. So Boba's trying to take off and maneuver, even though the bay door is closed, and I'm not sure what his plan was. But he's like taking, and he can't really like move without like, you know, threatening the building's like structural integrity.
Yeah.
And so they're, you know, people are trying to shoot him down. Fennec jumps on the little rampway thing, and they're this whole thing, and like a guy tries to jump up there and she beats his ass and shit. And like finally Boba's like, I don't think I can get out of here.
The door is kind of closed.
The gun's jammed, so you can't shoot it open, right? And
Fennec's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I got this. Just close the ramp.
Yeah. And she shoots the counterweight that's holding the door closed. And so it opens, and then they escape. And it's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And so they have this really kind of awesome conversation where Fennec's like, you know what? You're actually a lot of fun to hang out with. So if you don't mind, let's just do like a buddy cop thing here.
She doesn't even do that. She's just like, okay. So she's like, okay, Boba, what are you doing? He's like, I've got some scores to settle.
Yeah.
Where would you like me to drop you off? And Fennec's like, you know what? I'll just come along for the ride.
You don't have to, because after that thing you did to that droid, I'd like to know what happens next.
Yeah.
So
first thing.
This next part. Oh my god. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
This is my favorite part of the whole. Well, this is my favorite episode so far.
Yeah.
That fucking biker gang, which we knew after the last episode,
they're fucked.
They were gonna get fucked. They're just out enjoying
cruising through the dune sea,
enjoying a sunny day on Tatooine, fucking wind in their face, and
having a grand old time.
The camera is like here and catching the whole gang in this big glory shot. And
then you see a little shadow up in the sky.
And I knew exactly. I was like, oh my god, that's Slave One. And that shot lingers for like a good 7 or 8 seconds.
And the shadow
it's just getting closer and closer. And I'm like, oh.
That was exactly my response.
And he just starts cutting them down with the guns, and they're just fucking exploding. And I'm like losing my shit watching it, because it is one. He's like, you know what? I could take this last guy out with the fucking guns. I'm gonna shoot him with a fucking torpedo.
Yeah.
And he does. And I was thinking it'd been really funny if he just would have dropped a seismic charge on him.
Put a pin in that.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it.
So Boba's like, all right, next to my the next fucking.
Let me just check that off the to-do list.
Yeah, it's like the Kill Bill list.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, all right, next on the list.
Armor. Let's go look at that Sarlacc pit.
And then he's in front of the Sarlacc pit, and at first I'm like, is he just gonna drop it in there and fucking right away, just as a fuck you?
Yeah.
But it turns out that he thinks his armor's in there because he was knocked out when the Jawas took it.
And
right.
It's Beskar, of course.
Right. So and it could survive.
And he's probably delirious trying to get out of the Sarlacc pit.
The filmmaking on this sequence is really cool because it's like Slave One is a person leaning over into the Sarlacc pit to look at it and shit, and they're like real close, and Boba's got his like outboard flashlight trying to look for his armor, and he's like, I can't really see. Oh my god, it's a beak! And it's that. So they were really careful when we see the Sarlacc in a couple of the other episodes not to show the beak and stuff. And people were like, "Oh, it's because no one liked it in the special edition for Return of the Jedi." No, they were just fucking saving it for this. And let me tell you, in this context, the Sarlacc beak is a lot more scary.
Yeah,
because it throws its fucking tentacles out, grabs Slave One, and is like pulling it in toward its mouth, and it's really scary. Yeah. And Fennec Shand is like shitting her pants the entire time, like immediately regretting, like, I should not have come with this crazy fucking man.
Terrible idea.
And so they can't get away from it. It's like pulling them in and shit. And like Boba tries to use the guns, but there's so much sand that he can't penetrate the sand and hit it. And
Fennec looks up.
Yeah, there's a button, and she's like trying to get it, but like everything is fucked, and she's like falling over and shit. She's finally able to hit the button. The hatch on the back opens. The seismic charge not very gracefully
very
tumbles out.
Tumbles into
the beak is like, ooh, I think I'll eat that.
Nom.
So Boba Fett has now killed the entire Sarlacc with a fucking seismic charge, and the whole thing. It just like there's an above shot, and you see the shockwave and everything, and it's just.
It's great.
Of course he would kill it with a seismic charge. That's so fucking cool. So
the best part is that after they fly up and they're out of the pit, Boba says, "Don't ever touch the buttons while I'm flying." And Fennec just gives him this look like, "Are you serious, bro? I just fucking saved our lives, and you're pulling this macho shit on me now."
So, and I'm pretty sure that was just he thought he had it under control and shit, and he's like, "Well, I fucking loosened it for you." So Boba is like, "Well, now let's go. I'm gonna jump in and go spelunking."
And Fennec's like, "That's really gross."
Yeah. So he jumps into the Sarlacc with a rope, and I guess sometime later he comes crawling ice covered in acid and shit, and he's like, "It's not in there." It sucks too. It's really gross.
Like, of course, there's a bunch of stomach acid down there.
You're melting, by the way. And she pours some water on his head, and it's not in there, right? So
I mean, we already knew that,
right? So afterwards, around the fire, Boba's telling Fennec about his it's like his political platform, pretty much. He's like, "If I'm elected, I'm gonna blah 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 blah."
Basically, he says, "We're bounty hunters, right?
Yeah.
Everyone who's ever hired us has been a dumbass.
Yes.
We've been hired to do things that were not necessary if people would just fucking talk to each other and
use their brains."
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, "In my new empire here, I'm going to need brains and muscle, and you are both. You're fucking smart, and you're real fucking scary, and me and you together, I'll cut you into the bottom line."
Also, you have robo-abs.
Yeah. Everyone will love that.
Yeah.
And I'll
Make
give
sure
you...
you show everyone at the earliest opportunity.
It's your business card. And I'll cut you into the piece, you'll get a bigger piece of the pie. And she's like, "Fucking Tuscans made you soft." And he's like, "No, they made me strong. There's only so far you can go without a tribe."
He explicitly says, "I can offer you something no other client boss ever has: loyalty."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes her say that he's going.
And we know he fucking means it too, because I mean, if it's one thing we've learned from the show so far, it's that Boba Fett has this newfound epiphany about loyalty to things he cares about.
It's a code of honor, really.
Yes, and what a great way to develop Boba's character. Yeah. He's not just a fucking faceless mercenary that shows up for 10 seconds in 2 movies and then dies. Mm-hmm. Like, the dude, this is a really good way to develop a character. And I've seen shit online about, they're ruining the coolest fucking bounty hunter. It's like, fuck you.
He had no character in the original trilogy.
It's just like, you like Fast and Furious, I bet. Like, you guys are the ones that sit down to Fast and Furious 30 and you're like, "Oh, this is going to be fucking great. Vin Diesel's going to say family and it's going to be fucking awesome." It's not my...
Explosions, fast cars. We're going to drive on the moon.
Right. I'm sorry that you're intellectually stunted, but this is a good way to develop a character. Yeah. So, quick flashback to Mando Season 2. Mm-hmm. Fucking... Boba! Gets shot right in the fucking face, or in the chest.
Yeah.
He takes over... It's pretty much the post-credit scene for Season 2.
And just about brings us to the present.
Yeah. So Boba wakes up in the Bacta mm-hmm. and his droid's like, "Hey, congratulations, you're completely healed." And I was like, "What do you mean completely healed?" And I started noticing
they were treating all the acid.
Yeah,
burns.
and I noticed that every episode he has fewer scars.
Oh. Okay.
So I guess his fucking treatment's done. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So I was like, "Good job." And he talks to Fennec Shand, and they're trying to find Shaiz, the mayor. Mm-hmm. But they've got his major domo, who is singing like or something. She says, I can't remember the name.
Like a bird, essentially.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the word that she used.
They don't say bird, but they mean bird.
Yeah, it's the word that they use is the species of alien that opens up Jedi rocks in the guy that counts off the song and everything. Man. Yeah. So whatever that is.
What a callback.
Yeah. So Boba is like, "I want to fucking put my armor on and go walk around and look like a badass." And she's like,
"I mean, you're the boss."
Yeah. That would look cool. Meanwhile, at the bar, Black Chrysanthemum
oh god, this scene
is getting wasted. And you know this by looking at him, he's an angry drunk. Like, this is not a fucking "I love you, bro" kind of drunk.
I mean, you would know this even if he wasn't staring at a bunch of Trandoshans.
Yes, who are fucking gambling, having the time of their life. Yeah, he's like,
they're very, very short lives.
Yes, he's fucking like his knuckle dusters are sparking and shit, and he's like, I'd really like to fucking kill those guys. Finally, his anger boils over. He just starts attacking the Trandoshans. He's throwing them around. One guy hits him in the back with something, and he turns around and he's like, you motherfucker. Picks him up. And then Jennifer Beals, I don't know her character's name. I just know the actor's name. She runs out, fucking glorious and gracious as always. And she gives him this whole fucking...
You're better than this. Yeah. I know you were in the arena for years and you have nothing left to prove to anyone.
Yeah.
So why don't you just put him down and I'll clear your tab.
If you put this guy down and not rip out his arm, I will clear your bar tab.
Black Chrysanthemum says, you know what? Instead of that, I think I'll rip off his arm.
Yeah.
And does so.
Chrysanthemum rips off his arm, and so he just fucking pays the bar tab. He's like, it was not worth a free bar tab. And he leaves. And this whole time, Boba's watching from the doorway.
Boba just walked in, and he's like, that is Black Chrysanthemum beat the shit out of some Trandoshans.
Like, when he walks in, he throws one of them at the door, and it like knocks over the plant in front of him, and Boba's just like, the fuck is happening here?
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't had an interesting time.
Boba follows him outside, and he's like, hey, I got a job for you. And he gives him that, like, raises the eyebrow thing.
Well, I did just spend all my money on that bar tab.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. So Boba's having dinner with the leaders of the different quarters of Mos Espa, the Trandoshans, the Aqualish, and the Clatunians, who to me kind of look like the guy. Have you seen Jeepers Creepers?
I don't think so.
The monster from Jeepers Creepers kind of looks like this alien race to me. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So he's proposing a defensive alliance.
Well, Fennec gets up and says, "Well, you see, you all used to work for Jabba, and that was pretty good." And then you worked for Bib, and Bib Fortuna
and that wasn't good.
Was a fucking tool.
Yeah, he was an idiot.
But, good news, we have Boba Fett here. And if you all want to be really, really rich, all you have to do is just listen to Boba Fett.
Yeah. And bonus, he killed Bib Fortuna. And if anything, we can all get around that.
Yeah.
The motherfucker's dead. And so Boba's proposing a defensive alliance to fight the Pikes, who will obviously eventually overtake Tatooine.
Yes.
And they're kind of taking over with their spice operation. And like at first, like, we all like spice.
Yeah.
Like, we all get a lot of money from this. So like, why the fuck would we help you? And like, they're not bothering us.
Yeah.
Like, sure, they might be a danger, but they seem to be pretty focused on making your day a bad day.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
like, why should we care?
We're all making money. We don't have a problem with this.
And as they're saying this, I noticed right before this happens that the table and everything is sitting right on that fucking the grate to the Rancor pit. And the Rancor makes a scene on fucking cue, like claws reach through it and shit, and they all like shit themselves and like jump up.
Boba's just sitting there like, oh, relax, boy. Like, drops a bone with some meat on it.
It's also it's worth mentioning that the job that he wanted Black Chrysanthemum for was just to stand there and look like a badass. I think, So,
well, I think he has the same arrangement with him that he does with the Gamorreans and the cyborg biker game.
So Boba like throws down a fucking turkey leg or something, and
he's like, please have a seat.
Yeah, he's like, then don't fucking help me. That's fine. I'm gonna beat him anyway, and
just don't help the Pikes.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the street safe again. All you have to do is remain neutral, and if they come to you to betray me, you'll tell them to fuck off. And they're like,
yeah, okay,
all right.
I mean, you're offering us a deal that involves us to do literally nothing.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And so they all leave, and as everyone's leaving, Boba and Fennec are talking on the balcony, and she's like, "You fucking trust those guys?" And he's like, "I trust them to act in their own interests, and our deal is better than the Pikes. Like we're literally just telling them to keep doing what they're doing anyway, and offering them." Peace after it's all the dust is settled. Yeah. And she's like, by the way, do you have any fucking money? And he's like, I've got so much fucking money.
So much money, dude.
Why? And she's like, cool. There's good muscle to be hired if you know where to look.
Which we'll need because we have a war going on. And
cue the fucking Mandalorian theme right at the end. And I didn't know where she was going with it. I didn't think she was going there. And then like the Mandalorian theme case, and I'm like, oh, I want it. I want it so bad. So
so it seems pretty obvious that that's going to be our Luke Skywalker reveal of this show.
Yes. Now the clickbait rumor is that it's Han Solo, that Harrison Ford is going to do a de-aged Han Solo, which
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
Harrison Ford.
I haven't
is
seen any
so
evidence.
Fucking done with Star Wars.
Yeah, I haven't seen any evidence really. It says. I mean, I guess they saw him in London filming something.
That could have been anything.
Yeah, so I'll believe that when I see it. A Mando appearance would make sense because we're getting Mandalorian season 3 this year, so it makes a little bit of sense that they would now it's the big bad. I think they're gonna maybe unveil on the Pike side is probably Kira from Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Could very well be.
So that would make the Han Solo thing a little bit more feasible because they have and he and Leia aren't doing great, so he might be like,
"Hey, my evil ex-girlfriend."
Yeah, rebound. So let me read some of these. Episode was solid to me. It was my favorite. If I'm gonna rank them, today's was my favorite. The last week's was my second favorite, and not because of the bike chase, because the bike chase is really rough, but because of that Tuscan scene and that gorgeous music. It's so good. And then the train heist kind of episode, and then I think the season opener is probably my least favorite so far. Not because it was bad, but just because it was really short. Not a ton happens. Let's see. Kilo Eastward. Do you guys think Bosk will show up?
Maybe. Possible.
I don't know. There are a lot of Trandoshans already.
Yeah.
You can't have too many fucking Trandoshans. Things start to get weird. And another person asking if Bosk will show up. I mean, it would be cool. I don't know.
I feel like that's throwing a bone to the
It's kind of a deep cut.
Like you and me, the super nerds.
Right, because it's like the
because to the best of my knowledge, he hasn't shown up in anything.
He's in Clone
Disney.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Clone Wars. And he's in one scene in Empire Strikes Back. So like I'm not sure if I like regular, like not like super fans like us and the people watching this, people be like, oh, it's another Trandoshan?
Yeah, it's fucking lizard
Yeah.
guy.
So I don't know. I wouldn't be mad about it. It's not like
it'd be fun.
It wouldn't be like if Mace Windu showed up and I'd be like, this is fucking stupid. Which, by the way, is a thing that Mike Zero is really pushing right now.
Of course,
it's already confirmed.
Mace Windu is
confirmed.
dead.
Yeah. Also, Mike Zero's a twat. Just a straight up twat.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that he was a sneaky twat. All right, well, I think that's all we have now. We got about 5 minutes here, and then we're going to start our Battlefront 2 stream. So we wanted to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being here. You guys are awesome. We love you very much. If you're back in 5 minutes, you will see me and Chris play Battlefront. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys there. We can talk more about the episode and other Star Wars things, or not Star Wars things, depending on what you're in the mood to